Good morning, world. We are in Mexico City.
Mexico City.
We landed yesterday, and right now we are on our scouting trip. So we're here without the kids, just the two of us, and we're looking at neighborhoods to rent.
Yeah. So the whole purpose of this trip is to make sure that we take a good look around the city, maybe look at tour some apartments if we're lucky, but really just to do some in-depth recon into these different neighborhoods.
Yep.
So that we can decide when we do make our move here, exactly where we want to be.
Absolutely. So we're going to be taking you on a couple tours through different neighborhoods, look for apartment, for rent signs, and just get a vibe for the city.
We're staying in Juarez, which was a really nice area. I will say that in the evenings and at nighttime, it did get a little busy. There's a lot of bar culture, but it's a lot of fun. Great restaurants, super walkable. It did get a little noisy, but during the day, it was nice and quiet. So after we kind of planned out our day, decided what we were going to do, we began heading south and we got to Parque España. This is a park that we saw the last time we were in Mexico City and we really enjoyed it. So the goal was to kind of get a vibe for if there were any for rent signs or buildings that we kind of had our eye on in that general area.
So we've been in Mexico City before, and we love it here. We were here November of last year, and I think some of our favorite things, we like the real neighborhoody feel that Mexico City has. So even though it's this big, huge city, which personally I was concerned about, we noticed when we were here that the neighborhoods actually feel really quaint and really cute, and just really nice. So I think that's definitely something that we're looking for. We spent a lot of time in Europe, and I would definitely say that as far as the places we've been in Latin America so far, Mexico City has kind of like that neighborhoody European vibe that I think we really liked from like Madrid. All right, so we are headed to Roma Sur. We just walked through Roma Norte. And so to just give you like a little context about really like how we scout, since we're bringing y'all along today, we woke up, we went to go get some breakfast, and then from there we just mapped ourselves to a school where we would potentially be sending Xavier. So in this way we get to see the school. We're also exploring the neighborhood on foot. And one of the things that we're doing as we walk around is we're looking for those like for rent signs. To see like what buildings have accommodations available. Do we like the outside of the building? What does the neighborhood feel like? All that good sort of stuff. So there's a lot that you can miss when you're scouting if you're not like on foot, walking around, really being observant and like present, paying attention to what's going on.
Exactly. Like a lot of these have for rent signs and information where you can call the number, find an apartment. The schools have signs. So really just keeping your eyes peeled and getting your feet on the ground and seeing what's there.
Up next, Roma Sur.
Especially about being so like upscale.
Yeah.
You can be more comfortable here.
And it's just quieter.
It is really quiet. I think the lack of parks though is like there's more green spaces.
We are walking around Roma Sur, and I think one of the first observations is that it's just quieter here than it is in Condesa. At this point, we are just sort of like wandering and meandering. Justin just tried to map us to like a park or a green space, and we noticed that there aren't as many as there were in like Condesa or Roma Norte. So especially with us having kids, that's sort of just like a really big consideration. Is like, well, what are we gonna do with them? So we're walking around a little bit more. We're gonna see what it has to offer. But so far, Roma Sur is very cute.
We did some more walking and meandering through Roma Sur. We stopped for a quick bite because these food stands are everywhere and the street food is delicious. And then it was time to wrap it up and head back to our accommodation because we had something planned for that evening.
We are on our way to a taco tour.
Taco tour. All you can eat. Taco tour.
Taco tour. How many tacos are you going to eat?
I'm thinking I'm gonna do a good 12.
12?
Do a good 12. 12 pack.
I see you're 12 and I raise you 10.
Okay.
I do 22 tacos.
We're gonna be like Keith Lee style.
Keith Lee style? We're to 1 through 10.
At him.
At Keith Lee. So we are out scouting once more. Yesterday we took a little vacation in the midst of the scouting trip and did the hot springs.
Yes,
which
which is amazing. Must
It was
do.
really cool. Yeah, we'll have a video about that for y'all coming up. But today, motorcycle. Ooh, those are so cute.
Yeah.
Eugenia Superlong. Will you take a picture of the sign? Sorry. You see like a cute, and that, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. This is how scouting works, right? So we saw this cute building as we're walking, and so one of the things I do, I'm like, take a picture of the sign. You can always look them up later, sometimes call reception, ask if they're any for rents or coming up for rent, things like that. It's the little stuff with scouting being like boots on the ground and making sure that you are like actively engaging with your surroundings, right? To try to like find a place. Oh, they have some for sale actually. Look, and there's a rooftop, so they might be coming up for rent.
Yeah.
Yes, but today we are in a different neighborhood. So we have explored Condesa. The last time we were here in Mexico City, we went through Roma Norte and Roma Sur last time, and then we've been staying in Juarez. Now we're here in Polanco, looking at Polanco and Granada. So we are out looking for some coffee. Again, walking around, looking at the buildings, making sure it passes the vibe check, all of that good stuff. If we have time later, we might stop by like a school or two. Yeah, there's a park. There's a park, checking for this sort of stuff, right? Infrastructure for the kids. So we will grab some coffee and check back in. So we are in Polanco, and what's super cool about this is that actually we were gonna skip it. We'd heard that there weren't great schools, that it was super bougie, that it was touristy, and we were considering just not seeing it, but fortunately we decided to see for ourselves, which is sort of our thing. So honestly, I really like it. It does give a little bit of like a bougie vibe to it. I can see why a lot of like expats would choose to like call it home, but it's so nice. We've seen amazing parks, lots of cute cafes, restaurants, and it definitely has that like neighborhood sort of vibe that I think we fell in love with when we were in Condesa the first time we visited Mexico City that we like. So I like Polanco. Okay, so we walked through Polanco. Again, love it. Chef's kiss. Polanco looks amazing. We went to look at a couple schools, some of them in North Polanco and others in Granada, which is just north of Polanco. And as soon as we cut across the highway from Polanco into Granada, you see the vibe change. It gets a lot more local, right? And the area just looks different. Local, fantastic, but I think the difference is kind of like not so much for us. So we did look at the school that we came to look at in Granada. Now we are taking the train back to Polanco because that's where the hotel where we're staying is. I do think that another thing as far as like scouting trips go that's important to consider is like if you're going to be somewhere for like a week or even longer, this is like a shorter kind of like scouting trip that we normally take, but even so, we're staying in two different places. So we packed up this morning from one neighborhood we were staying in, now we're staying in another, just because it allows you to be able to have the experience of what it's really like to navigate and to be in just different neighborhoods.
Hey y'all, we just got off the train. We just took the train a couple stops from Granada back to Polanco. And we really just wanted to see what the experience was like, check out the price of the metro, and check out, you know, how packed it is. Today's Sunday, so it was very empty. Pretty easy to navigate. We just went southbound, and it's there if we need it, so that's always a good option for us.
Now, I will say, we definitely prefer the train in Rio. It's just a little like fresher, I think, easier to navigate.
Fresher
but,
for sure.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think too, even us with trains, like we're not really like city people. We didn't like grow up taking trains, so I think there's always the thing when you get to a train station of kind of like having to orient yourself and like figure out, make sure you're going in the right direction or whatever. But it was nice.
It was.
After checking out accommodations, schools, testing the public transit, and all of that stuff, we ended our scouting trip with some room service in our hotel room before flying back to go get the kids. We're super excited about this move to Mexico City, and we cannot wait to bring y'all along.